because this could be important for you to share to your wife in the future or now, or to your sister or even daughter. So welcome once again. Today on Inside Motherhood, we'll be talking about breast cancer awareness. Well, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is recognized because breast cancer is one of the most common cancers worldwide, affecting millions of individuals and actually causing significant mortality. So the month serves as an opportunity to educate the public, empower women to take charge of their health, contribute to research efforts, and provide support and resources for those affected by breast cancer. We can recognize this month by discussing breast cancer and ways to prevent it. So, just as we go, we're going to share adjustable factors that are increasing your risk of breast cancer. Well, I'm going to be sharing 10 alterable factors that increase your risk of breast cancer. So, a quick one, let me just inform you better. And then today we'll be talking to a breast cancer survivor. So when she's here, you're going to hear from the horse's mouth how it feels. Now, I know so many people have actually hit this disease and have died with it. I know of a close person, family person that had this issue and then went to church, from one church to the other, and then finally she was taken to the hospital and it was discovered that it's breast cancer. And before, you know, she could inform everyone and then started raising money, I think she died that week. So this is something that can actually be stopped, you know, if it is detected earlier. So it's not a death sentence, but there are ways you can prevent it. So number one, obesity. Now, being overweight or obese increases the risk of developing breast cancer, especially after menopause. Another one is lack of physical activities. Now, a sedentary lifestyle and lack of regular exercise can also contribute to breast cancer risk, well, to some extent. Alcohol consumption regularly and excessive alcohol consumption can increase the risk of developing breast cancer. It may not start immediately, but trust me, something is accumulating. Another one is hormone replacement therapy. That's the HRT. The long-term use of HRT, especially estrogen, progestin combination therapy, can increase the risk of breast cancer according to medical research. Delayed childbirth and fewer pregnancies. Well, to some extent, researchers say women who have their first child after the age of 30 or have fewer pregnancies have a higher risk of breast cancer. I don't know how true this is. And not breastfeeding. Well, I think breastfeeding is one thing we should be talking about over time, because I've actually come across women who say, oh, I don't want to breastfeed because I don't want my breast to fall. I don't want to breastfeed because I don't want this or that to happen. And trust me, not breastfeeding, according to research, women who do not breastfeed or breastfeed for shorter durations have a slightly higher risk of breast cancer. Another one is birth control pill. Now, using maybe oral contraceptives for an extended period of time may slightly increase the risk of breast cancer, according to research. And sometimes environmental factors, exposure to certain chemicals and pollutants such as pesticides, chemicals, and plastics may increase breast cancer risk as well. And then poor diet. A diet high in processed foods, saturated fats, and even low in fruit and vegetables, according to research, may also contribute to an increased risk of breast cancer. Smoking tobacco has been associated with an increased risk of breast cancer, particularly among phenomenal or would I say pre-menopausal women. Now, recently, I think sometime this year, we had a researcher come out to talk about using contraceptives. You know, that some contraceptives, according to research, have been proven that they can cause breast cancer in the future. Now, how do you know the one that works for your body? That's another issue. So breast cancer is something that we are going to bang the drum about for a long time. Now, there are so many people who are, you know, faced with the challenges of breast cancer. How do you detect it early? There are some exercises, some ways you need to detect, some ways, in which you can know that, oh, there's a lump in my breast, or there's something happening, or there's a discharge or coming out from my breast and I'm not breastfeeding, so it's not milk, and all of that. Well, today I already said we are going to talk to a breast cancer survivor, so I'll just go on a short break. When we come right back, she should be ready and the show continues. And also, this is a very interactive show, so you can share your experiences, ask questions where necessary. The phone lines will be open once we come right back, so get ready to join the conversation. This is for you. Now, you may not have, don't forget that it's also hereditary. You may not have breast cancer now. You may not have any signs. It may not be you. It could be someone around you. It could be that you're having some signs that could lead to it, but you don't know. So today we're going to take a look at all of that on this program. Well, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and all we need to do is bang the drum to make sure that every lady out there gets checked up against breast cancer. So stay tuned. We are coming right back.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
All right, welcome back. It's still the program Inside Motherhood here on Spectrum Television, and today we are talking about breast cancer awareness. Well, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and on this program, we are telling you everything you need to know about breast cancer, how to detect it, what it means if you have breast cancer, and how to prevent it as well, and even how to get solution. So already I told you earlier we'll be talking to a breast cancer survivor. So she is ready and is here to talk to us. So good afternoon and welcome, Mfonabasi Idio. She is an educationist and an author.
Good afternoon, Rachel.
It's good to have you on the program.
You.
I'm fine. How are you
Thank
doing?
I'm good. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend to you too. Well, today I want to ask you, questions, your personal experience. I want to talk to you how you felt, just to educate others, to educate us, make us know how it feels from inception. So let me start by asking, at what point did you discover that you had breast cancer?
I discovered when I went to the teaching hospital with my test result of a histopathology test. That is when I discovered I had breast cancer, when the doctor broke the news to me.
Okay, but before then, what were the signs, the symptoms you were having? What even made you go to the hospital in the first place?
Okay, before then, I noticed a lump in my breast. So I went to the hospital, a private hospital, to take out the lump. I felt it was just a lump. I didn't know it was more than a lump. So I went, we took the lump for a test. I went back to work, normal life, living my normal life, getting some money and all that. But when when I relocated back, I went back to the same hospital. I was complaining to the doctor because I felt something was still wrong with the breast. So I went back to the hospital. The doctor got me checked again, and he suggested we conduct another surgery. So I was skeptical at that moment. I said, why another surgery? What happened the last time? Why are we having another surgery? He said, in his word, it's the nature of it, that you want to remove whole of it this time. I said, well, whole of it this time, why didn't you remove the whole of it last time? So at that point, I was skeptical. So I had to collect the test result from him. I went to teaching hospital. At the teaching hospital, that is when the test result was interpreted that it was breast cancer in my left breast.
So now the doctor never knew that was breast cancer, so he just felt it's a lump and he needed to just operate you.
I don't know if he knew. I don't know if he knew, but he didn't want to tell me. I don't know. But from my own point of it, I did not know because he never told me it was.
Okay. Aside from the lump, was there any other symptom?
No other symptom.
Okay, it was just
a lump, a painless lump. There was no pain. There was no change in the physical texture of the breast. No change in color. Nothing. I just noticed a lump and I went to the hospital.
Wow. So from that point, when you got to the hospital, just tell us more about it. Your experience. That's what I want to know.
Okay. At the point the news was broken to me that it was breast cancer, I was devastated. I was so confused because I've heard of it. I've heard of breast cancer, but what I knew about breast cancer was that it wasn't a good diagnosis. And people here make us believe that it's a death sentence, you understand? So I was so scared and so terrified. I was so confused. So from the hospital, I went to church. I just laid everything, my chest on the altar, everything in my bag that had to do with the diagnosis and everything. I dropped it on the altar. I told God, I am too confused. I don't know what to do. Please take over this journey. I don't just know what to do. Because at that stage, it was already stage 3. It was already at stage 3.
Wow.
And it didn't just give me time. So I was diagnosed on the 9th. I needed to start chemotherapy on the 11th. Just 1 day interval. And that 1 day interval was for us to conduct some tests to really check some things and know if I'm fit to start chemotherapy. Because there are some things that your body needs to be fit so that we'll be able to withstand chemotherapy. Chemotherapy treatment is not an easy treatment, you understand? So I did that and started treatment immediately, and I even went through it. And as I was walking the journey, that's when I was learning a whole lot of things. And from the journey, I now discovered that there are 1,001 survivors out here. We are buying from the same market, we are walking the street to do that, but we never know. But why my concern was like, okay, if this is happening, why are people still seeing breast cancer or cancer as a death sentence? People are living in the dark. People need to come out. People need to let people know that it's not the end of the world. That getting a cancer diagnosis is not death sentence. It's a disease that you need to treat. If you treat it and do the right thing and we go by your side, you will survive and live your life normally.
Wow. Okay, so I'm just wowed, you know. And then I feel excited that you are able to talk to us. I was supposed to talk to a doctor today. Now I'm confused. I don't know why a doctor would demand for money before talking to people about breast cancer awareness. Now that sounds so absurd and odd in my ear when we're trying to, you know, create an awareness for people to know that it is not a death sentence and this is what happens, this is what happens. Now, because you may have learned a whole lot of things in the process of, you know, your journey to getting rid of breast cancer in your life. Now, can you share some of those tips you would give to, you know, a woman to say, oh, in order to, you know, survive breast cancer or to detect it earlier, this is what you should do, this is what you should do?
Okay. For you to detect, early detection is one of the vital things of survivorship in breast cancer. I was fortunate, like I'm stage 3 and I survived. There are stage 4 people too that have survived. Yes, I have seen them. But if you detect it very early, like stage 1 or stage 2, you may not need to do mastectomy. Mastectomy is removal of the breast. So you may not need to do it. You may just remove the lump and get yourself treated and you'll be fine. So it's good to detect early. What will help you detect it early is always conducting the self-breast examination monthly. We recommend it monthly. Monthly in the sense that, you know, a female body goes through some hormonal changes monthly. That is what comes with menstruation and all that. So it's good for you to check it because you don't know what has happened in your body. The body that you had yesterday is not the same body that you have today. Things are changing. Your cells are changing, and so you need to first of all, you need to know your body, know your breast. So when you check it, if you notice something that is not normal, something that has not always been there, if something has changed, you now take that rings a bell in your head. So you know that something is wrong. You pay attention to it and you check. You do the normal. By doing the self-breast examination, you first of all stand in front of the mirror. You check the shape of the breast. Is this still the same breast? You know, has it changed from shape? You check the color. Is there any reddish something anywhere? If everything is normal, then you lie down and you use your hand and press it, search for lump, search through your armpits. You check if there's any swollen something anywhere, because some don't have lump, but they have lymph node swelling in the armpit area and the neck region. So it could come from there too. So you check all those places. If you notice anything like ball or anything strong, something, please report to the doctor. Take yourself to the hospital. Breast cancer is not something you joke with. So once you report to the hospital, they will know every lump, all the lumps in the breast is not cancer. So don't panic. Anything that the redness in the breast, all those symptoms, it may not be cancer. Let the doctor diagnose you. You conduct some tests and they declare it what it is. So don't give anything name before you get the real name. So once you do that, it helps. It helps you to detect when something is wrong early in life and follow through your treatment. I advise everybody, know yourself. If you have a sister, husband, brothers, please tell your female colleagues, wives, sisters, tell them, let them be checking their breast, let them know their breast. Some of them, because once there's a research says that before cancer shows up in your breast, like maybe a lump or redness or something, then I have forgot to say this, you press your nipple. When you press your nipple, check if there's any fluid coming out. If you're not a nursing mother, And even if you're a nursing mother, check the fluid that is coming out. Is it breast milk, or it doesn't have change in color? If it's that, then report to the doctor. So like the research says, before those symptoms show in your body, like a lump or a redness of the breast or breast milk or something, that your body has been dealing with these cells for like 2 years. Your body has
Wow.
been trying to fight those cancer cells for like 2 years before you see that symptom. So it's not something you should joke with. It's not
Okay.
something you should joke with. Report immediately to the hospital.
Okay. Just a minute. Let me quickly inform the people that they can be part of the show by calling the phone number displayed on the TV screen. Feel free. Are you a breast cancer survivor? Or are you having symptoms? Or do you have any questions to ask? Or do you have any contribution? Feel free. The phone number is 070-454-17707. That's 0704 45, pardon me, 0704-54-17707. That's the phone number. It's displayed on your TV screen, so feel free. You can be a part of the show, ask questions. Today we are talking to a breast cancer survivor, Mfon Idio. Now, if she survived, you too can survive. If she was able to detect it early, you too can detect it early. What is she asking you to do? Cross-examine yourselves. There are different things you can do to examine if you have a breast cancer, or if you have lumps in your breast, you have the redness around the breast area, the armpit area, the neck region, like she said, you have water coming out from your nipple when you're not breastfeeding. And even if you're breastfeeding, according to how she says, is the liquid coming out breast milk, or is there any change in color? Then you should report to your doctor immediately. Okay, back to you, Mfonido.
Okay.
Okay, I must say I'm very excited to talk to you because,
Thank
this is
you.
one thing that has been killing so many women. Like I said before you came in, I had someone around us, around me, I think she was a bit shy and she wanted to keep it to herself. And then she I don't know the symptoms she may have had, and then she kept it to herself, and she was also breastfeeding, and then she just kept it to herself. It got bad, and when it got bad, she was taken from one church to the other, and when they asked what is wrong, nobody got to know. Aside from her and the husband, nobody knew there was something wrong with the breast. So she kept it, and then she got from one church to the other, and then eventually, when they decided to inform the family, and then they said, okay, fine, let's take her to the hospital. And then they agreed, let's take her to the hospital. That's when she was diagnosed of breast cancer. I think it got to the last stage because the breast began to, drip water, was painful, was getting rotten. And then, we had a family meeting. Oh, let's contribute money for this person. And that week, I think the next day, the person died. So keeping it, to that point. Now, let me ask, what do you think makes a woman or some women keep it to themselves? Is it associated with any body shaming stereotype or something?
Yes, and ignorance. People are not, there is this region that we found ourselves when we want to talk about things that has to do with sexual organs and all that. Is like we see it as something very sacred, something very private. And this has killed a lot of people. It has killed a lot of women. Some women are dying from avoidable death. So there's nothing to shy about. There's nothing to shy about. If you talk about your problem, take yourself to the doctor. If you talk about your problem, you receive solution on time. And cancer is wild, is something very serious. You don't take it lightly. And even when you undergo your treatment, you do it fight it with all that you have, like back to back. Fight it with all strength, because anytime one eye you are giving to cancer cell is dealing with your body. It's spread as the cancer multiplies, and it will not just, it's not something like how do I put it, like ball that you can physically see outside and if it's improving or if it's not improving. So it will not just tell on you immediately it attacks your body. your immune system will try to see how to fight it on its own. It's when your body is overwhelmed, that is when you now feel the symptom that something is totally wrong. Probably you were having some fever, you think you were treating fever. It's not fever. So when you notice something is wrong with your body, please go to the hospital. That is why the doctors are there to handle our health. Trust the doctors with your health.
Okay. Can I know, your personal experience and the lessons you've learned from that experience you had?
Okay. I would say, like, before I walked into the cancer journey like a baby, but I came out an adult. Let me put it that way. I learned a lot. I see it the day I finished my treatment. I tag that day the beginning of my new beginnings. So I saw my new self at a mesh. I'm now a different person because dealing with cancer. I took terrible, serious, difficult decisions for my life. And I took the decisions all by myself. Like, because it's my life, it's my life. If I wait for so many opinions, they will end up giving me some confusion and all that. So most of these decisions have time frame. You understand?
Yes.
Okay, for instance, for me to start my treatment, I was diagnosed on the 9th. I needed to start treatment on the 11th, just one day. I didn't have time to breathe. You understand?
Yeah.
And that evening, because my mom knew I was going to the hospital on the breast issue to check what it was. So from the hospital, I went to the church, and I put my phone out of, I've silenced it and everything. So by the time I came, I saw a lot of missed calls that, like, my whole family were alert. They had to call my cousin to find out, have you seen Yvonne? Have you heard, where is she? They had to even call my neighbor around here to say, is Yvonne home, and that. Like, my neighbor was calling me and all that. So it's when I finished from the church that I saw their missed calls. Like, they wanted to know, they were agitated when they called, and I wasn't picking because I was in church. I just did that my me time, me and God. Let's stop. This matter is not a family matter. It's God, me and God. You understand?
Yeah.
So I took that decision, and by the time I came by, it was late. I couldn't call my mom that night, so I called her back. She called me very early in the morning. I told her, not say, for what was it? I told her, this is it. That this is what the doctor said. I know that she wasn't active. She was so surprised. From where? How? Because I don't have history of breast cancer. There's no history of breast cancer in my family. I don't live, by the grace of God, I'm not careless in my life, like Alice. So she was so surprised. How? Where? And for me, this was not the time for me to give. Like, I've already accepted my journey at that time. I feel like I've accepted it. I was ready to take the next step towards what is possible. So I just ended the call. I dropped. I said, "Madam, I beg, when you people are ready, you people should meet me in the hospital." You understand? So I moved. I started my treatment, and then from there the family came in. Even when I did my chemotherapy, I felt I could manage myself. I would say, I will finish my chemotherapy, come back home, and stay as in where I stay. Like, but my mom was bent on I must come to the village. That she wouldn't allow me to stay alone. You understand? So I said, no, mommy, I will manage. She said, no, lie. Before you know, she had sent my brother to come for me.
The love of a mother.
Either I come, or I will just see her, that she will come by. I said, okay, no problem. So I accepted. I went with her. So most of the decisions I took by myself. Like, you don't need to wait for. Like, I know, I believe that life is personal. You understand?
Yeah.
And there's a level in your life
and
that
you grow up and
you
take decisions
can
for
walk.
yourself.
Your family cannot walk that journey with you. Your friends cannot walk that journey. It's good to have their support, no doubt. But there's a point in your life. There's a level that they can walk with you to, and there's a level that you have to walk alone.
Of course.
So I just believe those decisions were mine. So even when it came to the point of doing mastectomy and all that, fine. I wished, as a woman, as a human being, I wish I wouldn't have to do that. But this was it. The thing that when I got the diagnosis, I had to sit down, weigh the options. Okay, what are the options? What options do I have? If I follow through the treatment, I have the probability. I have two probabilities. If God is by my side, I survive it. I have my life back. But if it comes out the other way, I will at least, even when I'm on my dying bed, I will know that funny you tried, you gave in your best. So at least I will not die with grief. I will not be on that bed with grief. But if I knew that I had opportunity to
To
do
leave.
something to save my life, you understand?
Yeah.
And out of my stubbornness or fear or anything, I chose not to. I will watch myself slowly die because that's the end. There's no two way about it.
Wow.
Yes, miracle happen. I believe in miracle, but I know that there's a part we have to pray. There's a part we have to play for the miracle to happen.
Of course.
So for me to be alive today
It's
is
a
a miracle for
miracle.
me. Yes, and I took some part. I did not just sit down and watch things decay. You understand?
Yeah.
So I needed to pray. I prayed. I needed to take medications. I took medication. I needed to do some tests. I did. I needed to do chemotherapy. I did. I needed to do mastectomy. I did. I needed to do radiotherapy. I did. So that is the miracle that we have today.
I must say I'm very, very excited to talk to you, and I'm very happy for your life. Now, I'd like to ask something. I'd like to ask something. You know, there are so many causes of breast cancer, and then I just want you to, at least from your experience, or you know, getting your knowledge from the doctors, what are those things that can make a woman prone to having breast cancer?
Okay, we don't call them causes, we call them triggers.
Oh, yeah,
because
triggers.
for now, there's no particular known cause of breast cancer. I understand research is still ongoing, but there are triggers. One is family history. If you have a family history of somebody in that family that has undergone breast cancer the journey before, then that is I think the first level, like your immediate family. Yes, that is. So there's tendency that somebody may have. So people in such families should be able to check themselves. They should be alert. And not that this does not mean they will have. You understand? But they should be alert. They should be more careful and not smoking. Smoking is also one of the triggers. Then excessive alcohol is another trigger. So the processed food, living a life of eating anyhow, processed food, high sugar, and all that is also a trigger.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to leave you shortly, but let me ask, you know, now looking at women out there, okay, what do you have to say to them? What advice do you have to give, you know, to the girls, the women? And then before you get to that point, is there any age limit that one would say, oh, from this age, you are no longer prone to, you know, those triggers that causes breast cancer anymore? Or at this age, you are more prone to? Is there any age around it?
There is no age as it is right now, but before it was women in reproductive age that should be more careful with it. But as it is right now, a lot have changed. Like there's a girl I saw, she's a teenager from secondary school. She was down with breast cancer. And I know of an elderly woman down with breast cancer. So everybody, all women, and one of the risk factors of having breast cancer is women having a breast. Once you have a breast, that means everybody you have that you're at risk of having breast cancer. If there is no breast, there's no breast cancer. So for you to have breast, please be in awareness, have knowledge, be in awareness of breast cancer. Know that it can happen to anybody at any time. So nobody is exempted. Even men do have breast cancer, though it's very, very rare. Their own condition is very, very rare. But nobody is exempted. Please take care of yourself. Be in awareness. It's a disease. See it as a disease. It can happen to anybody.
Okay, so now here comes your time to at least speak to women out there, speak to the girls. Just a word of advice.
Okay. What I can say to every woman out there, be in awareness. Know yourself. Check yourself monthly. If there's any difference, if there's something you notice that have not been there, please report to the doctor. Do not conclude. Do not give anything name. All breast issues are not cancerous. So please take good care of yourself and don't panic. Breast cancer is a disease, not a death sentence.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mfodabasi Idio. an educationist and an author. Thank you so much. A survivor of breast cancer. I'm very happy you made it out and you're able to talk to people to actually educate them and advise them and guide them on the steps all way long. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, do have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, back to the people. So today we've been talking about breast cancer awareness. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month every October. And trust me, I am very excited that I've learned something from a survivor today. And I hope that you too have learned something. Now, she said there is no age limit. It could happen to anybody. But the phone lines are still open. Tell us your concerns. Tell us your experience. Ask a question, a contribution. Is there anything you need to know? Are you having any symptoms? Are you having any signs? Is there anything you wish to inform us about? The phone number is displayed on your TV screen. We'll go to a short break. When we come right back, the show still continues. Catch you later. Welcome back. It's still the program Inside Motherhood here on Spectrum Television. Well, we're still talking about breast cancer. Different people have different symptoms of breast cancer. Now, some people do not have any sign or symptom at all. Now, some warning signs of breast cancer are new lump in the breast or underarm, that's the armpit, thickening or swelling of parts of the breast, irritation or dimpling of breast skin, redness or flaky skin in the nipple area or the breasts, pulling in of the nipple or pain in the nipple area, nipple discharge other than breast milk, including blood, any kind in the size or the shape of a breast, pain in any area of the breast. Now, keep in mind that these symptoms can happen with any other conditions that are not cancer. So if you have any signs or symptoms be sure to see your doctor right away. Like she says, don't just give it a name before the doctor names it. What is a normal breast? No breast is typical. What is normal for you may not be normal for another woman. So most women say their breasts feel lumpy or uneven. The way your breasts look and feel can be affected by getting your period, having children, losing or gaining weight, taking certain medications. Breasts also tend to change as you age. So if you want to get more information, you see the National Cancer Institute, on breast changes and the conditions. Now, what do lumps in the breast mean? Many conditions can cause lumps in the breast, including cancer. But most breast lumps are caused by other medical conditions. Two common causes of breast lumps are the fibrocystic breast condition and cysts. Now, fibrocystic condition causes non-cancerous changes in the breast that can make them lumpy, tender, or sore. Cysts are small fluid-filled sacs that can develop in the breast as well. So breast cancer awareness and the changes that can happen in the breast is quite different. So that you have these signs doesn't mean that you have breast cancer. So don't start detecting it already for yourself and then you're feeling that all is finished for you. Go get yourself checked and be sure that it's this breast cancer before you can say. Like she shared her story. She first went to a doctor and then the doctor examined, oh, there's a lump in my breast. Let's carry out, a surgery and take the lump out. And that's what the first did. So who knows, it may have been at stage 2 then. And then she left, went about her normal life because the lump was removed, only for her to discover that the lump is growing back again. And then she went back and he says, oh, we need to remove it again. Keep on removing the lump. So what if she never had the mind to, this is not a proper hospital for me, let me get to another hospital, probably, a teaching hospital or a general hospital, because some things are, I normally say in some general hospitals, doctors take their time to, go through. You have professionals for all conditions. So those professionals know already, take the test, can interpret the test for you. So the doctor had taken the test but could not even interpret the test. Not until she took it to the teaching hospital and met a professional in that field who interpreted the test result for her. And look, you have breast cancer. And thank God for, her mindset. I talked about rushing to church. Yes, she said there are sometimes you need to pray and you know that you need to pray. And while praying, you need to take your medications. You need to take the doctor's advice. You need to take the next step in keeping yourself alive. So many things that kill women with breast cancer, not just women, anybody at all that has any disease, is, fear, ignorance, fear of being stereotyped, fear of being body shamed. So imagine a woman would start saying, oh, what am I going to look like having just one breast and not having one? All of those questions. And then the fear would come in and someone would tell you, she talked about getting back to the family. Sometimes you get advice from people and they're like, don't do it. God can do it for you. Yes, it's true. God can pass through, the doctors to save your life. That's what it means. Yes, miracle happens. Sometimes, people give testimonies. Oh, I had a lump in my breast and it disappeared after prayers. Now, if you pray and the lump is still there, you ask God, should I take myself to the hospital? Yes, take yourself, because there is someone whom God has kept in that hospital that will help you, cure that breast cancer so it doesn't take your life. So many people die from avoidable, diseases like breast cancer. This is something you could easily avoid, but because of fear, because of religion, I didn't even talk about religion, because it's not just ignorance, it's not just fear of being stereotyped or whatever, not just lack of money, okay, or information. Sometimes it's religion, okay. So what does my religion say? Now, I've actually been in a situation where someone says, oh, in my church, we don't do cesarean sections. We don't carry out. Nobody in my church has ever gone through CS. Nobody in the history of my family. And so It can't be me. So I'm just imagining, what if the survivor had said, oh, there is no such history, like she says, in my family, so I'm not going to do this. I'm going to wait until it disappears because it doesn't exist in my family. What if you're the first person? What if it's due to other conditions and not hereditary? So sometimes religion makes us feel that this cannot happen, and then when you sit back and tell yourself this cannot happen, you find yourself, in the grave or in a very dangerous situation. If you are faced with any health challenge, you have the hospital with professional hands to run to and get yourself being taken care of. Professional healthcare services. Don't just limit the conversation here. Let someone know that we had this conversation about awareness of breast cancer. Share it to your wife, share it to your husband, share it to your sister-in-law, your friend, your neighbor, someone in the car. Share it to all the girls around the world. Share it to your babies, your kids. Let them know that breast cancer awareness is real. Like, breast cancer is real and it can kill if you do not take the right steps. Now, I've seen a movie where a grandmother died of breast cancer. A mother now died of breast cancer. And then this child, because they didn't go to the hospital to know what actually happened to them. So when she started feeling the same way her mom felt before she died in the breast, so she started feeling, oh, she's going to die. And so this is what killed my grandma. This is what killed my mom. So she locked herself away. And then because she was educated, she worked in an office, and then had people who were also aware around her, and they said, no, don't just keep silence, because it killed your mother, it killed your grandmother, and you guys didn't know the reason. Now it's time for you to go and find out what is this thing, just in case it kills you also, or you have a child and it kills your child. So let someone put a stop to this. And then she went to the hospital and discovered it was breast cancer and could actually be avoided. And that is where she ended that history of mothers in their family dying of something that pains in the breast, not actually knowing that it can be avoided. So what am I saying? This is to inform you that you should always check your breast properly every month. Examine yourself. If you see any slight change, if you see any difference, please head to the hospital. We are not saying it's breast cancer already. Let the doctor say, oh, relax, it's nothing. Don't just tell yourself there is nothing. Be safe, be aware. This is where we close the curtains for today on the program Inside Motherhood. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so share the news, spread it across, inform and educate people around you. Breast cancer is real. I wish you safety on this journey. Remember, as long as you have breast, you are prone to having breast cancer. So you have got to examine yourself every day. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. And also you can follow me on X at RachWhite, RECHWHYTE, all as one word. Good afternoon, happy weekend. See you again next Saturday. I am Rachel.
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.